My entire life, I've been on a journey to find love. I've had some amazing experiences, and some not so good. But that hasn't stopped me from believing that true love still exists. Join me as I speak with real-life couples finding their way through life, love, and relationships. This is Real Life Love Stories.
And her drive and her maturity, that I think that would draw me closer to her, because she was very mature for her age. That's around the time, she got ready to leave for college and all this stuff like that. And it's just the fact that I got to a point in my life where I felt like wasn't anybody, no one was there for me or whatever, and I just felt like just giving up. But she was always that push in my back that I needed, like I said, she was there for me, I was there for her or whatever, and it just grew our bond even closer.
Just one?
Just one thing.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
Lord. He's too laid back. He is too laid back. Like, it's almost like, what's the pimp name? Pimp Don Juan? Pimp Don Juan, Casanova. I don't know, but it gets under, he's laid back through everything. And that gets under my skin. I don't like it. I don't like it. I need to see some emotions. I need to see either you're mad or you're angry or you don't, you don't care. I mean, because to me it's like you don't care. So I want to see some raw emotion. I want to see like some what? They did what? They said. I'm not getting anything from him. He just like,
Not so much her parents. Her parents was cool, but it was her brothers. I mean, I'm like,
yeah.
What's your intentions?
Like
they were trying to scare me off.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and said, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, we just want to know what your intentions are. I'm like, I'm here, checking your sister out.
I would say out of the time, I have 5 brothers.
Yeah. But the parents was fine. Her mom, I can tell her mom was checking me out and very guarded and protective of Stevie. But her dad, we just hit it right off. Because how Papa was. He didn't meet a stranger. And we just talking about different things, and he was talking about my career, and we hit it off. But I could still tell me mom, she was just kind of like, is this guy for real? I could tell she would check me out, how I treated Stevie and all that. I could tell she was real concerned, but after a while, she seemed like she warmed up to me.
I think Daddy was trying to marry me, just trying to get me married. I think he was just wanting me to get married.
I don't know, that's just, it was, and I was intrigued, like I said, because we got on the phone and conversations were real. They weren't about when I'm gonna see you, because they couldn't be. And so maybe we were forced to be more genuine with each other, but it worked out. And so, like I said, I can't pinpoint. It was just a progression of knowing that, okay, this is becoming real. And then we kind of had the conversations about being together, I guess. And I would always joke with him, and I'd be like, you gotta ask me to be your girlfriend. Like, we're not gonna just assume around here. You're gonna ask me to be monogamous with you, or you just don't know who I'm talking to. We'll see what happens, and eventually he did.
Eventually. It took a while, but we got there.
Oh, wow.
It was like 6 months.
That's a while.
You date somebody for 6 months before y'all say, okay, we're official couple now. We together.
I don't think that's a while, considering we were like in 2 different places.
True that.
So, but who's 15 years older, right?
I know I look like I'm like 23, but can't help it. I don't age. Like, what is it? Like a fine wine?
Yeah.
I want to ask like a really random question. Like, what is like the most ridiculous thing that you all argue about?
The most ridiculous thing
And
that...
if you don't argue, that's fine.
I think my biggest thing with him is him shaving his head and not cleaning it up.
And I'll say that my sleep is so important to me. I mean, it's like number one on my list of needs is sleep. And I've always thought that she didn't take my rest seriously. Whether it's the lamps on. I wake up at 4 in the morning, right? And she wakes up at 5:30. So if the lamp's on after about 8:30 at night, or she's got the TV up loud, or she's on the phone and she's talking really loud to her friends, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little sensitive, but I need my sleep. And I don't know if you want to call it an argument, but maybe a disagreement, but she's doing better.
Yeah,
she's
we don't
doing
have
better.
like daily arguments. I don't think we just kind of nip it
Right.
like that.
The reason that I fail, is because of her drive, her maturity. I like the way she carried herself. Like I said, she wasn't with the in crowd, She was her own self or whatever, and the vice versa for me. Even though I had homeboys and stuff like that, I was still a person always to myself. That's just like I am now. Still same old Mario.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was the uncertainty of it all. I actually, we weren't in our 20s. Well, we were in our 20s, but we weren't in our early 20s. So we were both out of school and had actually started into our career. So, we had matured and looked at things differently. So I had become so focused on work and career that I had to think beyond that. And looking at what career was like, I felt that I didn't necessarily want to be alone either. So my thoughts were, if this works out and I can do more, I should be able to do more than one thing with us supporting each other, then I could have the best of both in all worlds. So it didn't take long for me to kind of come around. He actually made it fairly easy.
It's so funny because
No, it's not.
well, it's funny to me because even when she's arguing, because I never really argue. That's really a true statement. Would that be true that I never really argue? I never really argue. But even when she's mad and she's very emotional and she's very vocal about emotions, I'm just kind of sitting and I'm just kind of listening and I'm like,
Perfect example, right now.
okay, all right, so this, all right. And so even when she argues sometimes I'm like, okay, are you done? You're not listening. I said, I am listening, but I mean, it's nothing to get, to want to break up the marriage, or you know what I'm saying? Like anything can be worked out and worked around, and so that's just my demeanor. And I'm just so like I've just been through so much. It's like nothing is so important that you need to get so emotional and so mad about it. You sit down and let's figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And so she doesn't like that part about me. I'm just always like, okay.
Well, I knew it was getting serious. Like that time we sat on the phone for like 7 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
Like when she got out of work, and it was like 4:30 in the evening, and then we was on the phone till like 2:00 in the morning. I never stay on the phone that long. Like a 15-20 minute conversation. Okay, I'm finna find something else to do now. I got something, move around, do something. We was on the phone for 7 hours. Like I screenshotted it and sent it to her. Like,
This is ridiculous.
It show you the time on the phone. We've been on the phone for 7 hours. That's a whole work shift.
It was. And you had your family, and it's like all you do is talk on the phone now. It's like, mind your business. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Even my child, KG is his name, but he's always like, who are you talking to, Derek? And I'm like, well, I'm glad it is, because if it was anybody else, like, you hating.
Yeah.
It's so ironic that me and my homeboys, we used to hang a lot. Just go out, kick it, go to parties and all that stuff like that. And lo and behold, all the fellas out kicking it, she right there with us. Everywhere we went, she was right there with us. She was just, one of the guys or whatever. And that's why she said she couldn't stand me at a point, because she was hanging with the fellas, so she saw what we was doing, And it's ironic because, like, maybe 2 or 3 of her friends, she actually hooked me up with.
I think patience with each other is something that's really important. And going back to Riley, my kids are adults. Riley is 6 years old, and I think the fact that Riley's won me over and I've won Riley over, I think that really gives her a lot more peace, knowing that, okay, my son loves this man, and he really looks up to him. And I think that's a big component in making this relationship work, because if Riley and our relationship wasn't to where it is now, we probably, I know I wouldn't have had the chance to ask her to marry me. And so I think just the, not more so of being engaged to each other, but being each other's best friend. I think that sometimes trumps, being engaged to each other, and because sometimes best friends get you through a lot in life, and I can say that she is one of my, very best friends.
We was over her folks' house, and I wasn't sure what the occasion was, but I bought the ring, and let me tell you, when I bought the ring, I bought it in downtown Pine Bluff. I was going to the jewelry store, and her brother and Larry D, and were they married then? Glow.
No.
Larry D and Glow, who he eventually married, come driving by. Of all times and all people, I'm going into the jewelry store, and they come driving by and they see me. So that weekend, I'm over at the house, and there's a lot of people at the house.
But before that, you said you talked to Daddy.
Yeah, I'd already talked to him. Yeah, I talked to him probably about a week ago. And so, your sister was there. Desiree was there. You was playing with her. And I wrote this like a sticky note, like in the office when you have a message. These pink sheets back in the day when you had a phone message, they would write it on that and put it on your desk. So I wrote that note on a note.
A message pad.
Yeah, a message pad. It wasn't called a Post-it note back then. It was a message pad. And I gave it to her. And she looked at it and read it. What?
Well, when we first started dating, because we were going out and people were interested. Who's this girl that you just come out of nowhere? Y'all haven't been dating long, now y'all engaged, and so people were, wanting to meet this woman. Everybody know me, and so I always tell her we would go out, and I'd say you got the resting bitch face. You got the resting, because she would sit there and sometimes she would, not be approachable and not welcoming.
There's not anything wrong with that.
And you know, and people would come out, hey, B-Love, yada yada yada. We're at an event. Hey, how you doing? And you know, hey girl, and I knew B-Love and yada yada yada. And she's looking at like, you know, and so I was like, so I said, babe, like you got the resting bitch face. I mean, even now we go out somewhere, I say, you're doing it again, you got the resting bitch face. So we got the resting bitch face joke. But I used to like, and you know, that was one of the things that I was like, okay, hey, we gotta figure out another.
They're gonna pray back. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who said I love you first?
It was me.
I don't play that. I don't play it first. I will not say it.
I tried to hold out for a while, see if she was gonna go and drop it a couple times, but nah, she did hold out. And that's when I asked her to be in a serious relationship. It all went hand in hand. Like, okay, I got some real deal feelings for you, and went from there.
Were either of you looking for a relationship, or did it just kind of progress naturally?
I wasn't, and I made it clear to Rosalind that the first year we went on a few dates, and I was just at the time focused on what I was good at, and that's honestly community and interaction with people, and that's a gift that I've always had, and I was secure in that element of life. It was like my safe haven, and I let Rosalind know, you know, I love spending time with you. I enjoy going on dates with you, but I'm not really looking for anything serious.
I don't think either one of us were. I mean, I had a son who was not even 2 years old when we met, and I had just started my teaching career, and so, you know, I just had to focus on, you know, we both had so many things that we were already focused on to where we didn't think that a relationship was in the cards for us, because we already had so much going on, but it just kind of happened because we enjoyed each other so much, and it's kind of meant to be, I guess.
And then I said, would you marry me?
That's what you wrote on the note?
Yeah, he wrote it on there.
And I gave it to her before I asked her, and
right.
she read it, and she looked at me like,
well, when he, let me tell the story.
Am I telling you? It's been 30 years.
So, it was the day that Ashley was born. My good friend Karen Jones unexpectedly had gone into labor, so we went over and we were preparing for a shower. But anyway, we finished all of that, and I went home to Pine Bluff, and as usual, and it was always first stop Mom and Dad's house, and so it was that he had left a note. Your grandmother was doing hair at the time, and she said, "Oh, it's a note in there. Tara left a note." I said, "Oh, okay." And so I went and I got this little pink note, and it said, "Will you marry me?" And of course, my eyes got big and all, and he was not there at the time. So he was in Pine Bluff, but he was not at the house at the time. So I called him. I said, "What is this?" And he said, "I'll be right there," and hung up the phone. And so when he got there,
I do not remember that part. But go ahead.
Yes, I remember.
Okay.
And so when we got there, I was sitting on the piano bench, piano, and not that bench, but that piano, and Mom and Dad's house. And when he came in, he came right into the living room, and he got on one knee, and he presented the ring, and he asked me again, "Well, will you marry me?"
Man, I'm glad she remember all those details. I just remember the note. I remember the ring. And I think remember getting on my knee.
Yeah, you
But
did.
all that other stuff?
Yeah. Well, we still have the note.
Yeah, I still got the note.
Oh my gosh.
It's in the
Why
safe.
the note?
I don't know why I did the note. I guess I wanted to make sure that it was real and that I was going to go through with it. You know, and once I gave it to her, I couldn't back out. So
without you
can't-
could have, but
Well,
I've got 5 brothers at
yeah.
at the time. But it was.
That was a long time ago. I don't remember all those details, but yeah.
And when before you'd gotten there, I was telling Mama that, and then after you gave me the ring, she said, "Yeah, I tried it on before you did." Yeah, she said she tried it on.
I
You
remember
you showed it to her. You showed it to Mom and Dad.
Good deal.
You're watching Real Life Love Stories.